Hi everyone. This feels a bit weird. Feels a bit like This Is Your Life with Trevor McDonald or Michael Aspel, minus the big red book. But here we go. I'll give you a bit of a coach's journey about myself. So obviously, Jean is my sister, not my wife, which some members thought in the early days. So we come from quite a sporty family. We both played tennis. I played a lot of football as well when I was younger. Not particularly well, but tried my best. And yeah, went to the same schools. And when I was at school, really, all I wanted to do was to play sport, and I just could not concentrate in the classroom at all. And I was very well behaved, very conscientious, but really could not focus. So really just scraped through school with minimum grades, and spent most of my time dreaming about playing football outside. Um, and yeah, I can remember going to the careers advisor in year 10, and this is how good careers advisors were back then. I told them that I had to work in sport and fitness, like that's what I wanted to do. And what they came back was a delivery driver delivering football shirts to JJB Sports. That was going to be my job that they put me into. Nothing against delivery drivers or anything, but it was a tenuous link at best, I think, to work in sport and fitness. So the only other thing I could think of was to become a PE teacher, because then I'd get to teach sport and fitness and do that. So that was always my goal at school, and went on to college and uni to get the qualifications I needed to do that. And sort of on that journey, I thought more about trying to work with sports teams and stuff. And so in the summers at university, I was in Chester, University of Chester. In the summers, I'd go out to America football coaching. And as a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old, 21, for a few summers, we'd get given like a rental car. We'd get given a credit card to get hotel rooms. And I was just living the life, traveling around the northeast of America. And coaching football to kids from sort of 6 to 16. And they just loved the English out there back then. And it was just a really great experience. And from that time out there, it made me think that I'd really like to live in America and try and do a master's degree out there. So basically, I finished my degree at Chester and did pretty well. And I actually saw a poster for to apply for a government scholarship to go out to America, which I did, and luckily got it. I don't know how that happened, but basically got to pick which university I wanted to go to in America and go out there for 2 years, all paid for by the government, and do a master's degree. And so that's what I did, and studied exercise physiology, which is how the body responds to exercise, all the different systems within the body, how they respond to that. And had a good time, and came back kind of knowing that I wanted to work with sports teams and that sort of thing. But as I came back, I got offered an opportunity at my old school where I went as a pupil, Bishop Rawsthorne, where they were just starting a new teacher training program called the Graduate Teacher Program. And they really wanted me to go into the PE department and sort of take on that role. So I did my teacher training there. Got a lot out of it. A lot of it related to the coaching that I've been doing anyway. So a lot of those skills were transferable. And yeah, it was what I wanted to do originally to be a PE teacher. And so did the training year, then got a job in Accrington teaching PE at a high school over there for a couple of years. Realised that actually teaching is really, really stressful. So I decided to, after a couple of years, to call it a day. Decided that I wanted to try and move out to America. So I went out to San Diego in California, where I had some friends, and basically on the wing of a prayer, hoping to get a job and settle down out there and stuff, and without realising that actually you can't do that. And you're allowed to stay 3 months and then you've got to leave the country. So unless you get a green card, which I actually looked into as well, but it didn't work out. So I came home. I actually moved in with Gina and her partner at the time in Leeds, around Leeds area, near Ilkley. And I was kind of in a transition period, really. as to what I was going to do, because PE teaching had always been the thing that I wanted to do, but I really couldn't cope with the stress of it, to be honest, and little kids effing and blinding at you and throwing objects at you. And then during that sort of 10-year, 5-year span, I'd done work placements at Preston North End as part of my degree, as part of the fitness team there, and at Manchester United. And so I really had a passion for football, and it just so happened that I'd done a course with the FA over 2 years, and one of the guys that was on my course was advertising for a job at Liverpool Football Club, and I got a role there for a couple of years. And it was basically my dream job, working in the fitness department at Liverpool, and wouldn't change it for anything. I learnt a lot, but also realised that how fickle an industry it is and how many people are sort of out for themselves, really. And I took the decision, despite the opportunity to stay on and get promotions and stuff, I took the decision to leave and to set my own gym up. I figured, you're less reliant on politics and stuff if you're your own boss and that sort of thing. And so I did that, and it happened to coincide with Gina and Gary moving down from the northeast. Gina was restarting uni, and they wanted to set up a CrossFit gym, and so we sort of joined up and started with that, and that was 2012. So coming up to 8 years this October, actually, and it went from there, really. And it's been a journey, but when CrossFit obviously started around 2000 in America, but it didn't really get big over here when we started out, there was only sort of 50 odd boxes in the UK in 2012, and now there's well over 500. So it's kind of exploded a little bit over that 8-year period, but it was pretty tough getting going, really. I could have been doing bits of teaching as well as running the gym, but I've kind of had enough with that. So I basically waited on tables to try and earn some money whilst we were doing the gym for the first couple of years, because we weren't paying ourselves. And it was a challenging time, really. Gina was full time at uni as well as trying to do the business stuff. Gary was doing bits of work as well, and really it was challenging, but it was a great experience. We got some really good members on board, and we quickly built up to sort of 100 members and outgrew the building. Really, it was a tiny little broom cupboard over a place, no space for much, really. Sort of 8 to 10 people in a class. I actually remember one time Gina and Gary were away, and it was summer, and we didn't have a booking system then, and about 28 people turned up to a 6:30 class midweek. It was like a nice summer's evening, and I didn't have a clue on, well, we got through it, but I didn't have a clue on what to do at first, because this building was tiny, but we kind of got through it. And obviously then when we moved to the new gym, we started to introduce a booking system and stuff, and it runs a bit smoother now. But no, it's been great, and it's been great to see the community grow and develop, and us starting to take on staff, and it's really gone from there. But it took us a long time to grow into the new building. And one of the fond memories is the day that we did the move. We made it the workout of the day on the Saturday morning to transfer all the kit 1 mile down the road to the new gym, and so we got loads of pictures and funny looks of people carrying all the gym kit to the new place. But it seems like a long time ago now. But that was probably 6 years ago that we did that. But no, it's good, and we, it's been really stressful at times for myself, Gary, and Gina, and but I don't think any of us would change it for the world in what we've got out of the place in terms of the friendships that have been forged, the experiences that we've had, and and well, we never foresaw this happening with the closing the doors and that sort of thing, but we really appreciate everyone's support during this time, and no doubt we'll get back into the gym very soon. Last thing for me, goals. I'm not the most competitive person. Maybe stems from my under 11 football days where we got beat 26-0 every week. But for me, it's always about enjoying myself, trying to stay healthy and fit, and that's it really. So I actually had a lot of injuries throughout my life with football, a lot of knee surgeries and various things. And really, the last couple of years is the time. It's the longest time forever that I've stayed injury free. So I'm just loving being able to train, joining the classes, and being healthy and fit, and not having to worry about breaking down with injury. So it feels great right now. And really, I want to just set challenges for myself to complete. I did one an unconventional triathlon last year, which was like a 50-mile bike, run up Helvellyn, kayak in the Lake District, and stuff like that keeps me motivated. Just not so much trying to hit podiums and medals, but just to try and complete challenges to prove to myself what I can do, and that's kind of been my motivation for signing up for like a marathon. And I actually plan on, for my 40th next year, plan on doing the Ironman race in Austria. So I was supposed to do a few triathlons this year before building up to the Ironman next year. So we'll have to see how that pans out with the different restrictions. But really just enjoy, for me, I just love variety, and so CrossFit is great because it's so varied, but also in my life I want to learn as many sports as I can, and not necessarily be the best at those sports, but just to expose myself to different things, and I think variety is definitely the key for me for sort of happiness, and without getting into sort of a stale routine. But looking forward to hearing the other coaches' journeys, and who knows, maybe we even hear members' journeys. That'd be interesting. And stay safe, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the classes.